I know the audio's crappy. I'm still working on my other camera. I don't have a table mount for it yet. So I am here at, oh, there it is. See that? See it? In Gardner. Taco Rey Coliman. And I just ordered the Super Carne Asado Fries. It's a French fry dish. It's probably the most unhealthy thing on the menu. Everybody says I gotta try it. And I want to give these guys a fair review. And I'm like, we've been trying to think about, well, should we go to this place? We should go to this place. We should definitely go to this place. We haven't gone to this place. Now we're here. We gotta go to an oil change, and I had to go get paperwork for a doctor's appointment, but we haven't eaten. I got a little extra money. I had a chance to do a review. I'm doing it up. So I'm excited. This is gonna be an adventure. I got my Sprite on deck. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Delicious. So I've been trying to stay away from the caffeinated stuff, but we're excited, man. I like good Mexican food, and hole-in-the-wall places usually bring it. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. So should be interesting. But they got all kinds of stuff, so let's do this. I apologize, I don't have my glasses, but so the name of the place is Taco Rey Coliman, but it's not just a menu full of tacos, okay? It's not all tacos. In fact, tacos are probably about the least interesting thing they do, but it's what you call the draw, right? They got chimichangas, quesadillas, enchiladas, stuff I can't pronounce, tamales, polo asado, polo frito, chicano chicken, carne asada, the Mios plate. I can't read it all without my glasses, but point is, it's right here on Pleasant Street, which is off of, is it Parker? Pleasant, and I can't read the other street, but it's on Pleasant Street in Gardner, so check it out. Come get some food, light it up, tear it apart, because I'm about to wreck it. I'm about to wreck it like Ralph. And I haven't even seen that movie, so let's wait for the food, huh? Okay, Tori got the quesadillas. She didn't get any guacamole or anything. Is it hot?
Yeah.
Look at the thickness, though. They didn't cut corners. And look at that cheese stretch. Oh, that cheese stretch is in the house. And
Damn. That's good.
and that's why we like it. And they got the beans. They got the refried beans. They got sour cream, maybe, and rice. And look at the thickness. Look at the thickness. Oh, that thickness is on point.
It's hot.
That's not the kind of stuff that you get from Chipotle. That's like a real quesadilla. Thick, meaty, not soggy, crisp. That's the way it should be. You didn't think that I wasn't showing up, did you? No. See, here it is. Now this is called Super Carne Asado Fries. I am not Spanish, so if I butchered it, I apologize. Look at that. Fresh veg, sauce. I should dig into this. Alright, there's a lot of food here, so
Really good.
we're gonna dig in here. Alright, let's just get a good one. Fries, look at that. Go down to the fries. There's the fries. Oh, and that everything. That's like just, there's so much going on here. Y'all. It's like they married French fries with Mexican food, and it totally works. But you know me, I gotta bring it. So we're going to bring it. Just a little bit. I'm guessing this hot sauce is pretty warm. So we're just going to add a little bit in there. See what we're going with here. Get some of them fries, some of that sour cream. There's ketchup in here. There's tomatoes. There's onions. Oh, wow. Oh, the hot sauce makes it dance on the tongue. It's subtle. At first, you get the ketchup, you get the fries, you get the tomatoes, you get the onions, you get the crunch of the lettuce, and then the hot sauce, poof, appears on your tongue. Like it's saying, hey, I'm here. I'm here. Do it again. Do it again. So we're going to do it again. This may be the most nuclear hot sauce in the world, but because of everything that's going on with this, with the guacamole and the ketchup, and I think there's mayonnaise in here. That's mayochup. And then some of that hot sauce. And you get the mayochup with bite. You gotta come down here and try this. This isn't a meal, this is an experience. Do you want to try a bite? My wife's not brave enough. She's a texture person. Some of this may not be her cup of tea, but it's like the American fast food industry came together with Mexican food and says, what if we made something that brought everybody to the table? And that's what's going on here. You've got the lettuce and tomatoes that you would find on a burger, some onions, mayonnaise, ketchup, French fries, and little bits of steak that rounded out as feeling like a Mexican cheeseburger. I kid you not. And then you get the crunch from the onion and the lettuce, and then the hot sauce. Oh, the hot sauce, they need to give you more. Because when you add that hot sauce, now you've got mayochup with bite, onion with crunch, steak with attitude. It's not too much at all. It's beautiful. It just, what they've done here is magnificent. Now, you would pass this place by if you're from Indiana, because it's not a chain restaurant. But I'm telling you right now, this is delicious. Her quesadilla, she loves it. I haven't tried her quesadilla, but they're just little pieces of steak, but they don't need a lot. And the best part is the fries kind of make all the flavors meld together, so that everything spreads even. You know what I mean? This is really well done. There's no wonder this dish is popular. It honors both American food and Mexican food all in one dish. It's very culture facing. Y'all, I'm about to devour this like a champ. But I'm telling you, this is the bomb. This is absolutely the bomb. I love it. So, Taco Rey Coliman. It's on Pleasant Street. It's in Gardner. It's delicious. You gotta do it up. You gotta do it up because they're coming in bang, boom, pat. I mean, they are lighting it up. And it's fantastic. And like I said, this isn't all they have. They got all kinds of the usual Mexican fare. And here's the crazy part, y'all. The cooks are Mexican. You know how many times I walk into a Mexican restaurant and they've got like a Chinese dude? Like, I think you missed the I think you missed your exit. Or a bunch of white people. Here's the real deal, though. 2 thumbs up. I'm gonna end up having. I'm already feeling the food wall coming up, and I haven't even eaten anything. This is a filling dish, and it's $11.99, I think. Awesome.
Any vessel in range, this is the Le Debutante. We've got a poacher lifting our pots, requesting assistance. Over? Anybody? Oh, hell yes. It's the Annihilator. Help it! Help it! Run up! Come on!
Engine's running hard! Annihilator's on their tail!
Let's see him sweat! Murder! We are Annihilator! Counting at the top of the sea!
Yeti dish soap. Wildly tough on grease. Gentle enough for legends.
I've been doing this deep dive sailing thing. I've been interested in sailing. What can I say? Sailboats fascinate me the same way trains do. But what does that mean? And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm interested. I know some of the terminology. It doesn't make me an expert. I'm not an expert. Nobody's an expert in anything. Nobody. Not even the experts are experts. In fact, screw the experts. But I like to gather information, and when an autistic person goes down a rabbit hole, they get more information than a neurotypical will ever get. The questions in this video, I'm past these at this point. I realize that in the letter that is read, I moved beyond that point a week ago. And I only started this dive a week and a half ago. That'll show you how fast autistic scaffolding adjusts and makes plans. Why do I have dust on my weapons here? Weapons back on. But anyway, I wanted to see what this video had to say, react to it. This is my deep dive. You watch my show, so this is now your deep dive.
What's up, everybody? I recently got an email from a young sailor in Denmark. He's 18 years old, and he's trying to figure out how to sail around the world. Which, first of all, brother, much respect. At 18, even asking the right questions already puts you ahead of most people.
First step, I don't want to sail around the world. There's just parts of the world I have no interest in visiting. It's more like a retirement lifestyle choice. Do I want to spend my last years in a retirement community? Or do I want to spend my last years on a boat in a harbor that's adjacent to retirement communities? I reached that decision a week ago. It's definitely not, I don't want to sail the world. It seems like something that would be on a lot of people's bucket list. I don't have anything to prove. This is not that aesthetic for me.
So he's looking at a Calique 33. He's got a tight budget, a big dream. There's water damage involved. And he wrote something that really stuck with me. He said, "I'm all right with it not looking good as long as it works well. I'm on a very tight budget, so I can't have too many extra expenses coming up." And that sentence tells me a lot. It tells me he's not chasing Instagram. He's not trying to buy the idea of sailing around the world.
So he's not going to be a middle-aged man on a sailboat with 2 women that are half his age dancing around in the middle of the ocean. Good. Because this is what I wanted, and now the whole plan is shot. Is this really anybody's idea? I mean, other than Hollywood, other than Lonely Island. I'm on a boat! With, T-Pain? They're on the boat with T-Pain? That's not how it works.
He's trying to figure out how it actually works in the real world.
Yeah,
that's what I want to talk about today. So, Simon, my man, first off, your goal right now is not circumnavigation. Your goal should be to become a dangerously competent sailor. with the dream of one day wanting to sail around the world or circumnavigate.
Amazing.
And that shift in your decision is really what's going to affect how your brain makes all the decisions in the coming months and years. And honestly, it's a much more realistic path to becoming the sailor you want to be. I'm going to say something that might sound cheesy or cliche, but I promise you it's true. Boats don't circumnavigate. You do.
You know, that's important. And maybe it's because I come from a background of truck driving, but they taught us in truck driving school that you're the captain of this ship. If you determine it's not safe to move, your dispatcher can do absolutely nothing about it. They hammered that home at C1 truck driving school. If there was no other lesson I took away from that truck driving school, it was that. Thankfully, the company that I drove for, Night Transportation, doubled down on that and said, if you tell us you can't drive, we're not going to question it. Companies like Werner, A-Prime, they don't do that. Move that truck, put on your chains. Kevin Knight's philosophy was, if you need chains, you shouldn't be driving. So this is right on point. You circumnavigate, not the boat. Good point.
You may be on your third or fourth, or like me, your sixth sailboat before you even dream of finishing a circumnavigation. And that's completely fine. The more important thing is that you cut your teeth on something that doesn't kill your dream, and that you use this time to work on, your judgment, your patience, your awareness, your ability to make good decisions when nothing is going right. Boats are just platforms.
Huge part of boating.
They come and go. If you believe you need the right boat before you can even start, you're going to wait forever. Trust me, I have seen it. I've seen a lot of people get stuck here. They try to buy the boat that does everything, the forever boat, the ocean boat, the one that's strong enough, and the one that's safe enough, and the one that's comfortable enough. And
let me cut down the chatter. The forever boat is a tall ship. But you can't bite off more than you can chew. You have to start small. I've done the rowboat. I've done the canoe. I've even done a 19-foot 4 winds. A speedboat. I don't know, all-purpose boat. I don't know. We used to go fishing with it. And one time we took it to Martha's Vineyard, and that was scary as hell. I'll never forget it. And my dad trained me in parts of it. I never was allowed to take the helm, not once. Nope, not taking the helm. My dad was very particular about that. Maritime laws, whatever, I don't know. It was the 80s. We had a boat, whatever, right? So I have a mild background, enough to know that I'm not going to buy a tall ship because I can't handle a tall ship. I've been looking at pocket sailors. Pocket sailors are beautiful. They're coast runners, and they're totally capable of going from Fall River all the way down to Sarasota, Florida, as long as you follow the rules and learn how to read weather, read navigation, current changes, all that. And they train you for that. They don't just, it's not like driving. They don't issue you a boat license with samples of Tide in the mail. That doesn't happen. They actually require you to go to school. My dad didn't just hop on a boat one day. He went to school. Over in Clinton, at the Clinton High School, they did a boating school. Now, I don't know how much you can learn from classroom application or if they ever took him out on the water. But he did have training, and he did have to earn his license. You don't just go out willy-nilly. I'm sure there are people that do it. Your ass going to get caught one of these days. Because if you go fishing, license enforcement, and then, do you have the first thing you're going to ask, where's your boating license? So, boom, that's exposure right there. You're in the middle of the ocean surrounded by free food, and you can't take advantage because you don't want to get the proper license. What are you, dumb? So there are steps. And yeah, a pocket sailor is where you start. I mean, if you go to like Boston Sailing Academy, I think it's called, they start you with really small boats. I mean, like 2 people on the boat at max, usually 1. They used to have a brand called Sunfish, and Sunfish boats were basically just 1 person sail around the lake kind of thing. They have the next level up. It's a little bit bigger, and they, sail them around Boston Harbor. And then you start getting into bigger boats, and they train for that too, pocket sailors and that sort of thing. And you learn, and then you buy a boat, and you don't have to spend $100,000 on a boat. You can spend $5,000 and fix it up a little bit, repaint it, make it yours. And I think people think they just need a tall ship. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. No, you're Captain friggin' Crunch. All right, just no.
cheap enough. And brother, I'm here to tell you that boat does not exist. Your first boat isn't your circumnavigation boat. It's more like your education boat. You should be cutting your teeth on a boat that sails well, and you should be learning how systems actually fail, what weather really feels like. What does 30 knots feel like? How do you refin that?
If you have a pocket sailor, you're not going 30 knots. And if you are going 30 knots, you're going to get whiplash because it's going to feel way too fast on that boat. The fastest I've seen one of these bad boys go is 10 to 15 knots. 30 is double that. It would feel like being on a roller coaster. It would feel dangerous, and they just don't move that fast. So he's using hyperbole here, but I get it.
How much planning matters? How do you use predict wind?
Plan like crazy. Holy crap, you're about to take a boat across the ocean to another part of the world. You're not planning? You kind of deserve to get lost in the Straits of Gibraltar. I'm just saying. You kind of deserve it. Your family doesn't, but you kind of do.
How much seamanship lives in your head and not in your hardware? The goal with this boat is not perfection. The goal is more momentum. So with that mindset in place, let's talk about the Colic 33 as a boat for you. So as a design, the Colic 33 is an honest boat for what it is. It comes out of the late 70s, early 80s Scandinavian scene, and it was originally designed as an IOR 3/4 tonner. Now, if you don't know what IOR 3/4 tonner means, I'm going to explain it to you. The IOR is the International Offshore Rule, and it shaped boats, quite literally, in very specific ways. So under this IOR rule, boats...
I want to stop here. You see that giant red piece? You can't see my mouse. I've disabled that. But if you look at that red piece, you've got the main blue part, the boat, the little red part on top, the big red part on the bottom. This is what makes a sailboat nearly, I cannot stress this enough, unsinkable. That red piece will always pull the boat the other direction because it wants to be down. So if your boat goes this way, that thing will pull it right back this way. If it keels this way, it'll pull it right back this way. It's really hard to sink a sailboat. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder than capsizing a fishing trawler or one of those speedboats. You remember the cigarette? Every jerk with a pair of gargoyles wanted a friggin' cigarette boat. And then it was always this number. With a chick, trying to water ski off the back while he's doing 80. God, those guys drove me nuts. And it was a total 80s archetype. They even dressed like the Miami Vice guys. I kid you not. It's something we had to endure in the 80s. It sucked on ice. But this design right here is why sailboats are much harder to capsize and why they're much more hardy for long-term trips. Why you couldn't take a small boat from Fall River to, Sarasota, Florida. It would be impossible. Plus the gas price alone. That's the thing. Once the sailboat's done motoring out of the harbor of choice, your home port, you raise the sails and cut the engine and you let the wind do the work and spend nothing on fuel. How can you not like that? Well, yeah, but at 10 knots, you're going to take forever to get there. Are you there for the experience or are you just trying to get from A to B? Because if you're just trying to get from A to B, take a damn plane.
We're penalized based on waterline length, not overall length. Designers wanted fast boats, but they didn't want to measure long. So they give the boats really big overhangs in the front and back that stay out of the water when the boat is upright and being measured by the committee, which is super crazy to me because everybody knew what was going on. It wasn't like it was a secret or something. It just baffles me they didn't change the rule to make the boat better. But that's beside the point. So at the dock, these boats rate shorter. And on paper, it looks smaller. But when the boat heels and starts sailing, those overhangs immerse in the water and the waterline length gets longer. And when the waterline length gets longer, the theoretical hull speed increases. And the theoretical hull speed of any boat is 1.34 times the square root of the waterline length.
Oh,
you don't have to know that. Just understand that speed is directly proportional to waterline length. So by heeling this particular type of boat, you effectively increase the hull speed without getting penalized under that IOR rule. So from this kind of skewed standpoint...
What is it with normies? Did you hear all that? Isn't there an easier way to say if the boat is too short or too long, it violates a law that makes things dangerous? I don't even know how to word that. There's so much mental acrobatics going on. They incorporated math. All they had to say was if the boat is too long or too short, it does A, B, or C. And so designs must be compliant to this so that doesn't happen. And instead, they broke out the math and the geometry and the calculus. Just stop. Say what you mean and say it simply. Even other neurotypicals will appreciate that. Good God. But it's part of the language, so you learn it.
I guess it's clever, but from a seamanship standpoint, it comes with trade-offs. To make that work, IOR boats tend to share a few traits. They're often tender, they heel early to kind of unlock that extra waterline length. They tend to sail best leaned over, not up.
See that? That's the kind of sailing I don't want to do. And the people that do this kind of sailing, they kind of look for doing this kind of sailing. It's a thrill for them. But there's also the guy that's in his 60s with a glass of ginger ale, just doing this number. That is absolutely out there. It's not all this. I know people hear sailboat and this is what they think of because of, yacht clubs and competitions and whatnot. But this is a small portion of sailing.
Right? So they tend to heel a lot more than modern boats that are a little beamier. And the hull shape is optimized to beat a measurement rule, not necessarily to handle confused seas smoothly.
It's not even a
This
sailboat.
type of boat isn't trying to sail flat and forgiving and take punches of waves on the face. It's trying to cheat a tape measure. And also the IOR encouraged things like pinch sterns, and the volume distribution on these boats is a little strange, not because it's ideal offshore, but because that's what the rule rewarded. And none of this makes IOR boats bad boats, but it does mean they're purpose-built. And that purpose wasn't comfort. It was winning races under a rule. And anytime you design something to beat a rule...
This is what I was just talking about. Not all sailing is race rules. So it sounds to me like this guy picked a boat that is more designed for race rules than traveling rules. New information unlocked. You just watch it in real time. My autistic brain just stamped that and went, boom, that's important. Hang on to that. Now,
instead of the environment eventually collects. Just to be fair to the IOR era boats, some incredible seamanship came out of that fleet. During the 1979 Fastnet race, the IOR boat Laura Lee gave up the race and pulled the crew of Griffin off a life raft that was literally coming apart. It's a crazy story. Look up 1979 Fastnet Griffin Laura Lee, and you'll come up with this story. And,
that's the other thing, boat names. These have cute names. Like, I already know what my first boat's going to be named. And every boat after it, no, it's not Jenny. I'm not going to name all my boats Jenny. But I am going to name them. I'm not going to say it, because if anybody steals my boat name, I'm going to be pissed. But let's just say I'm going to use the same name over and over again, simply with Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. Because it's version 1, version 2, version 3, and people use MK1, MK2, and MK3 on boats. So it just makes sense. That's the only part of the name you're getting. I'm not going to tell you what I'm naming the rest of it. And this, I'm going to be honest with you, this autistic obsession could vaporize in the next year. It happens. It happens. But right now, I'm really into this. And I'll show you why. Fuck it. These are the boats that I've been looking at. They got trailer sailors. I don't want a trailer sailor. I want to camp out at a harbor, and I want my boat to stay in that harbor. It just makes sense. This is one of the ones that I was looking at, actually.
Go down inside.
This is the Nimble Arctic 25. It's
Today
currently
I'm
my
not in the
favorite one.
boat works. I'm on a field trip about 30 minutes north of Flint, Michigan. I've come all the way.
I feel so
to
bad
take
for
a
people
look
that
at
are
one of the
restricted to Lake Michigan. You're still landlocked. It kind of sucks. I guess there's a technical way to get from Lake Michigan to the Atlantic Ocean. I've heard people talk about it, but I want to be on the ocean. Lake Michigan is not the ocean. I don't care what fish are in there. I don't care if they find Nessie in there. Ain't the ocean.
boats on my bucket list. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I have a bucket list of boats that I've been interested in, I've been pursuing throughout my amateur career of restoring classic sailboats and pocket trawlers. Today we're here to look at one of the boats that's on the top of my bucket list. It's called a Nimble Arctic 25. It's a salty little sailboat. They call it a motor sailor.
This boat is for sale locally on Facebook Marketplace. I'll put the contact information in the show description.
See that price tag? That's decent. Now, I talked earlier about, you can spend $6,000 or $7,000 for a fixer-upper, but this is an 88 Nimble Arctic 25 in decent condition for 25 grand. Way less than a house. Typically less than a car payment. You could probably get a personal loan to pay for it. $25,000 is 1 year's income for the poverty level where I'm at right now. It's a half a year's wages for somebody in the middle class. See where I'm going with this? It's not impossible, except in our microwave society where everything has to be right now. I want it right now. Let's take a look at this boat.
If you're interested.
I'm such a fan of these boats. I've always wanted to buy one. I'm going to take you on a tour of this particular motor sailor. You can see all the bits and bobs. I hope you stick with me. The Nimble Arctic 25 was produced between 1988 and 1993. The boats were produced by Nimble Boat Works in Clearwater, Florida. There were a handful of them made. The majority of Nimble Boat Works boat designs came from naval architect Ted Brewer. Now, you may not know Ted Brewer, but he's famous in the world of sailboat design. He wrote 3 books on yacht design, and he's responsible for several hundred significant sailboat designs, including the Whitby 42, the Morgan 382, at least 2 America's Cup sailboats, and a number of other commercial successes. This model was known as the Arctic 25, but came in several other versions known as the Tropical or the Offshore. Nimble Boat Works also designed the Nomad, the Wanderer 32 pocket trawler, the Nimble 30 sailboat, and today still produces what's known as the Kodiak 26. This is kind of a modern version of the Arctic 25. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of times that I go to look at a boat and the photographs, well, they make the boat look a lot better than it really is in person. But this is exactly the opposite. The photographs don't do this boat justice. The boat looks 10 times better than the photographs. It's really amazing. Can you see this reflection? I mean, look at that. What an amazing finish. That's the original paint on here. It's just excellent.
Magnificent.
If you watch my channel, you already know Motor City.
So you saw the interior. That's set up so that you travel, you port, you go visit a restaurant, you go explore, you do your thing, right? Come back to the boat, and while you're traveling, you make a meal, a small meal, in between the bigger meals that you do elsewhere. It's the perfect boat for traveling up and down the coast of pretty much anywhere. And if you know how the land masses are, you can technically take that boat around the world. However, it is an antiquated version. You saw the other one, it was there, right? The other one that they're making now, the Kodiak. And the Kodiak is a good boat. I just fell in love with the layout of this particular. And I'm looking at you because when I do finally have the ability to do something like that, I want to know what I'm getting into. Autistic pre-planning is very much often in advance. When you're a kid, it tends to be impulsive. You're like, all right, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. But the reality is that, you will probably do a lot more research in the end. You'll probably do a lot more research in the end. And it'll be something you feel like you keep putting off. You're like, I want to do this thing. Oh, but I need more information. Your scaffolding tends to be more exhaustive. You find yourself not wanting to make the mistakes that a neurotypical would make because they tend to compartmentalize into, like individual buckets. but never combine all the information. They access it sort of like piecemeal. Whereas you, when you're younger, you're impulsive. You're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You do it, and then you realize it was a mistake. When you get older, you kind of look at things as like, all right, I need to really plan out every detail. And you'll do deep dive after info dump after rabbit hole. And sometimes never get off the ground. So you have to kind of figure out where your scaffolding actually lies and where you need to execute, which is a far cry from when you're in your 20s and you tend to be more impulsive. And this is the same thing here. I can't afford to do this right now. I'm nowhere near being able to do this right now. And here's the problem is neurotypicals will read that and say, well, if you can't do it, why are you investigating? Because I'm not neurotypical. Because when I do this, I want to just be able to move. When I have that money in my pocket, I want to say, I know how to do this, I know where to do it, and I know how to do it. And I don't have to sit there with the paperwork out and be like, all right, wait, let me do this. I need to email this person. I need to look up this document. You've already done all that. Neurotypicals plan things when they're approaching doing the thing. Autistic people, we don't have a dime in our pocket. We get an idea, we will research it to plan for the one day when we can. It's a huge difference. People get an idea and it's a short-term execution. Autistic people get an idea and it's like, all right, let's really circle around this over and over again until I've got it nailed. And sometimes it's to our own, disadvantage. But that's how it works. Interesting stuff, though. That's kind of the rabbit hole I've been down lately.